So we are here today with Monsieur Maurincomme, Eric Maurincomme. So, what is your job?
My job is the president of a large technology university in France called INSA Lyon, National Institute for Applied Science. That stands for National Institute of Applied Sciences.
Okay, so you're the president there.
Yes.
That's right. You mentioned that you did studies abroad. So can you tell us which universities you went to? What did you study there, and why did you go in this particular countries or cities?
So, as in my fourth year of engineering, I was an exchange student at the University of Technology in Sydney, and the program there was 6 months of studies and 6 months of training. A little bit what you will have in your fourth year here at ECE. Mm-hmm. How I went there, I didn't choose where I wanted to go to the US, and I was fortunate not to go to the US, in fact, and one of my professors decided to send me to Australia because there was this 6 months of job, not only a 1 year of academic exchange. And I was very fortunate because I was not 21, and when you are not 21 years old, life is very difficult for you in the US. Mm-hmm. And then after I graduated from INSA, I looked for many different universities, and I was accepted at a few universities where they would pay for my tuition and they would employ me as a teaching assistant. That's what I was looking for. So I went to the University of California in Davis. That was one of the large campuses of the University of California. The most well-known campuses are UCLA in Los Angeles and UC Berkeley in Berkeley next to San Francisco, and in fact the second largest one is Davis, which is about 80 miles east of San Francisco in Davis. Mm-hmm. And I studied there and I worked. In fact, I was working part-time as a teaching assistant or as a research assistant while I was studying also for a Master's of Science in Electrical Engineering.
Okay, so we are going to talk a little bit more about l'INSA, your school. I can imagine that l'INSA has a lot of partners, universities. So can you tell us about this?
Yes.
When do you send your student abroad, and do they choose it? And
so we have about 250 universities partners worldwide, and there are several ways to exchange. Some of them we have complete double degree during the 5 years of the master's studies. So, for example, with Brazil, a Brazilian student would come 2 years at INSA, would go back 2 years to Brazil to get his bachelor, and would come back 2 years at INSA to get his master's. Mm-hmm. And vice versa, a French student can spend 1 year at INSA, go there for 2 years, come back for 2 years, and also get a double degree from both universities. Okay. So we have this kind of partnerships. We have also many different academic exchange. Like you, we typically do that in the 4th or 5th year. We only allow once to go for an academic exchange in the 5-year program, so a little bit differently than what you do. Okay. Then we also have double degree programs that we start either in 3rd year. So double degree program means a year and a half in Lyon, a year and a half in, for example, Politecnico di Torino or Karlsruhe Institute of Technology. We have about 20 universities with whom we have double degrees in Shanghai, in Europe, and now we are starting one in Canada, and we also are starting one in the US with the University of Pittsburgh.
Okay. So, Mr. Maurincomme, how did you become a school director?
I became a school director from advertisement in a newspaper in Le Monde. I was in the plane working in my job, and I saw this ad that they were looking for a new director of the school. Okay, so it's
that's
how I became.
Okay, and so you studied engineering, right?
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about your studies?
Yes, of course, and I will also continue on how I became the school director. So I started as an engineer. A 5-year school. I believe the 5-year school system going up to the level of masters is the best system that there is. So I'm happy to see that ECE is doing the same. And then after while I was a student, I spent 1 year abroad in Australia. And after my school in France, I went also to the University of California to receive another Master of Science. Then I came back, got a PhD, and started my career in research, so R&D. I did that for a few years, and then I moved to different jobs, marketing, product management, completely different. And then even further different, even more different, I went to acquisition, mergers, marketing, communications. And I was the vice president of a large multinational company based in Belgium.
Okay, and what's the name of this?
The name of the company was ACFA, ACFA Gevard. That was one of the company listed in the BEL 20, so one of the top 20 companies in Belgium. And how I became a school director, I decided to give back to the school where I studied, to give back what I had learned and what had been taught to me. And with a program saying, as a student, as a young engineer, you need to be very international, you need to understand several cultures, you need to be at ease with other European cultures, other world cultures. That's very important for companies in the world. That's very important for you as a citizen of the world to understand that you are not alone. The way you think is not the only way, and there are many other ways to approach the world.
Okay, so you mentioned that you did studies abroad. What was it like? So you were studying at which university? You mentioned Australia, but also the US. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
I studied that, it was called the New South Wales Institute of Technology, and now it's called, I think, the University of Technology in Sydney. I studied there for 1 year. In fact, it was 6 months of studies and 6 months of training as an engineering trainee. This kind of job you will have to do when you are in your 4th year. And then I studied at the University of California on the Davis campus, which is a large campus.
What is the relation with sport and art of the school?
At INSA we tried to, in fact one of the specificities of INSA was a department called Humanities, so that you don't only receive scientific topics or scientific education, but at least 20% of the curriculum is non-scientific. So it's sport, languages, and also social sciences, different philosophy, really literature, different fields. So 20% at least, it can be more. And one also of the specificities, and I was talking to your school director, Christophe, a few minutes ago, what we call sections of arts and science. For example, as a student starting in the 1st year, you can continue to play your instrument, so we call it musique étude. So while you do also your 1st year, you can also practice an instrument with very famous professors during at least 3 hours per week. And starting in the 2nd year, we open that to dance, to plastic arts, and to theater. So you can really do something completely different that opens your mind. You can paint, you can take pictures, and that will also, and you can learn about art and history of art during your studies, and that just opens you as an engineer and takes you out of science and makes you discover another field.
Well, thank you for having us, Mr. Maurincomme, and I hope we'll see you again very soon.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the exercise. Good luck in your studies. Good luck in your career.